sets and we had comebacks and we had those things, right? All right, listen. Let me break it down. Let me break down the top storylines and. All right. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. I told you we coming right back. Told you we'd be back. And we're back, folks. All right. I'm back. All right. So, get on over here. And I'll give you the Rushmore, but we'll get the Rushmore, guys. Bob Costas, Al Michaels interview on X, on Rushmore on X. Make sure you go and follow, subscribe, like their stuff, give them a holler. You know what I'm saying? Put it in the chat. It is the Rushmore. No, excuse me. It is Rushmore. All right. So this is Bob Costas, and this is two of the wisest goats. Two of the wisest goats sit down for a discussion. Al and Bob. Man. I'm dying to see what they're going to talk about as well as you. So without further ado, let's mute Dan and let's get straight to the CSM365 break.
If the other team does something great to you, a choke is you have to have contributed to it. Without what you did, you would have won. They had the game no matter what the Patriots did.
An 11-stroke swing on the final day. Greg Norman down in flames. Nick Faldo wears the green jacket.
Yankees 0-4, just losing a 3-0.
Right.
Just it's unprecedented. It hasn't happened since.
There have actually been a handful
I'm mute my
of
mic up and listen just like
where a team up 3-0 lost. It's only happened once in baseball.
And never in basketball.
Merkel's boner
is going to get a lot of press, this boner conversation.
Up by 15.
16.
Whatever it was. I think it was 15. I called the game.
I was at that game.
You were at the game, but I called the game.
Ben, what are we doing on this episode?
We're doing greatest chokes this week on Rushmore.
And I don't want to choke in my 4. So, Bob, we're going to start with you.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my overview.
You're going to give us your 4.
Greatest chokes. What is some of your greatest
chokes?
Who do you think is the greatest choke?
I didn't consider Brazil blowing some World Cup or something, or the English losing in 1950 in the World Cup, or something that happened at Wimbledon in tennis, which I might have watched, but I just don't have as much.
Was there a date you cut everything off, or?
No. But this is based on knowledge, not.
I got it. Okay.
In fact, I'll even make a reference. It won't make my Rushmore, but I'll make a reference to something that happened more than 100 years ago. I also decided, because you got to narrow it down to 4, I'm not going to hold any collegiate guys to account. I'm not going to hold Fred Brown to account for Georgetown for passing the ball to whoever he passed it to from North Carolina while he's standing right there, or Chris Webber for calling that he didn't have.
Jeez Louise.
Come on now.
I'm not, because I have better, right? I'm not going to hold Memphis leading by 9 with 2.5 to play.
Bob, you're going to get a technical here. You're just like laying stuff out there.
Missing a bunch of free throws and then losing the game in overtime because they're kids. Okay, so that was part of it. Now, the other part is this. You have to, in my mind, have coughed it up. Like, for example, you could have nominees in back-to-back years, same 2 teams in baseball. Did the Red Sox choke to the Yankees in 2003? And then did the Yankees choke to the Red Sox
in 2004? What are you doing here?
But just because...
Stop him.
How can you say that the Yankees choked if you're also going to say that the Red Sox did an incredibly great thing? Maybe the Red Sox did a great thing more than the Yankees choked, and vice versa. Okay? But that's why one of my 4 is the 1964 Phillies, because they did it to themselves. It wasn't that any other team did anything all that great. In fact, the Cardinals, who won the pennant, lost 2 out of 3 on the last weekend to the lowly Mets.
Bob is a runaway
to themselves.
Bob's a runaway train here.
He's a runaway train, and that was going to be one of my chokes, the 64 Phillies. But I can... It's a two-parter here, and let me tell you why. So in the 64, they have a 6.5 game lead, the Phillies do,
Correct.
with 12 games to play. This is pre-division, so there's only one league.
Yep.
It's the National League. Winner goes to the World Series. So Gene Mauch is the manager. This is why I have a two-parter here as my number 1 choke. What Gene Mauch decides to do is go with 2 pitchers. He goes with Jim Bunning and Chris Short, each on 2 days rest. During that period of time, they lose 10 straight games. They blow it. The Cardinals win it, go on to win the World Series. Fast forward now from 1964 to 1986. I'm tying this in when the Angels have a 3-1 lead over the Boston Red Sox in the American League Championship Series. At Anaheim Stadium in Game 5, they have a 3-run lead going to the 9th inning. Don Baylor hits a 1-out home run. Now all of a sudden it's a 1-run lead. They get down to the final strike. It's the last strike. The Angels are going to the World Series. Foul tip off a pitch by Donnie Moore to Dave Henderson. The next pitch, home run over the left field fence. They have the lead 6-5. Angels come back in the bottom of the 9th, tie the game, have the bases loaded, 1 out. There are 3 and 4 hitters coming up. Rich and DeSensei.
There was only 1 out?
With 1 out, right? You got a shallow fly ball to right field off DeSensei's bat. Rich then hits a soft liner to the mound. We go to extra innings. Red Sox win the game in the 11th inning on a sac fly by Dave Henderson. Go back to Boston. Red Sox win games 6 and 7. The Angels blow a 3-1 series lead, a 3-run lead in the 9th inning. So why am I tying these 2 things together? Who was the manager of the Angels? Gene Mauch, who managed the Phillies in 1964.
Oh, God.
And I hate to do this because Gene Mauch is gone, but I really like Gene Mauch a lot. But unfortunately,
did you know him?
Very well. Phillies. Well, I covered the game in '86, so I got to know. I was doing baseball in those years for ABC. And I got to know Gene very well. He was a good man, yet he went to his grave knowing in 64 he blew the pennant, and in 86 he blew the pennant too.
Did you know him, Bob?
Yes, I did. I liked him very much, and he was widely considered one of the best in-game strategists. He knew every nuance of the game. He often outmaneuvered the guy in the other dugout. He knew arcane rules, but he experienced heartache. There was a third one, as Al knows. It wasn't quite as excruciating. But in 82, in the ALCS, when the Brewers were still in the American League, the Angels had a 2-0 lead, and it was then a best-of-5 ALCS, a 2-0 lead on Milwaukee, and Milwaukee came back and beat them, and Mauch was the manager then. So it's nothing but torment and heartache for Gene Mauch. So
did he ever win the World Series?
He never got to the World Series.
Never got to the series.
Never got there.
Oh,
no. My God.
They were already printing World Series tickets in Philadelphia in 64. They were printing them. And now in football, you could say the Oilers in 1983 up 35-3 against the Bills. The reason it's not going to make my Rushmore here is that I have a better choice because this was in an early round divisional game, and Buffalo, with Frank Reich coming off the bench, played heroically in the second half. The one that makes my Rushmore is the Falcons in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Agreed.
Up 28-3.
Now, I can't believe we're going to change
in the third.
It was crazy.
Yes, and no matter what Brady did, no matter what great catch Edelman made or whatever they did, they got 2 2-point conversions. No matter what.
How about the Falcons kept on throwing the ball, not running the ball?
Exactly. A choke is not if the other team does something great to you. A choke is you have to have contributed to it. Without what you did, you would have won. They had the game no matter what the Patriots did. Like you said, if they run the ball, they're in field goal range for a relative chip shot field goal. Would have put the game out of reach because to send it to overtime, the Patriots needed another touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Yeah. They could have gone up by 11.
I was at that game in Bob Kraft's box, beginning of the game, packed, and gets everybody leaves at halftime. I think it was there was like 6 people in the box. And as they start coming back, I mean, it was insane.
Yeah,
it was insane.
And so, but Matt Ryan drops back to pass. Not only does he get sacked, now they're out of field goal range. Literally, unless you fumble, all you have to do is run the ball, and you cannot lose the game.
I think the percentages to win that game for the Patriots were like points. I mean, it was so low coming out of halftime that when this thing started moving, and there was nobody in the box with Bob Kraft, Jonathan, myself, some other people, everybody had left. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Like, and I'm saying to myself, why aren't they running the ball? Just to take time off the clock. You don't want to give Tom Brady anything. And Bill Belichick.
They lose the flip, and they hadn't changed the rule yet. The Patriots take the ball and score. The Falcons' defense has been on the field, it seems, the whole fourth quarter. They're totally gassed.
Yeah.
And the Patriots score. Matt Ryan, the MVP that year, never touches the ball in overtime. This literally everyone involved, the coaches and the key players, will go to their grave.
It's my number one.
Never gone a single day without thinking about that.
Al, did you have this on your list?
Bob just took the wind out of all of my sails. Those were my two.
Totally. I didn't have the first one, but I had that one.
I can give
Let
you.
I'll go first on the next one.
No, I give you a little. Well, I'm done. I mean, this is it. We're finished. But just a couple of little ironic notes in that game between Buffalo and Houston, where Frank Reich, the backup quarterback, because Jim Kelly had been hurt. The halftime score of that game, the halftime score was 28-3. And then Houston scored another touchdown. It was 35-3. Then you had that big, huge comeback. But the irony about the other game is the Super Bowl game, 28-3. So here's what I think was happening. So they're going to kill him. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons in that game. It was already known, but not officially announced, that he was going to be named the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers the next day. He's going for the ultimate kill shot. They're throwing the ball up by 25 points. 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. He wants to win the game like 51-3, and it turned out to burn him. And then think about the next day, you go and you're going to be announced as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, and all they want to talk about is what the hell happened the day before. Yep. So that's my
Bill Belichick and Tom Brady happened.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah. And a couple of big sacks defensively. And once it got to be like 28-16, and don't forget, New England also missed an extra point along the way. When they made it 28-9, they missed the extra point on top of it, and able to recover from that.
Well, I was saying to myself, why aren't they running the Patriots? I couldn't say anything when you were in the box with Jonathan and Robert, but I was saying to myself, like, why aren't they doing a hurry up offense? And for whatever reason, they were just running it like normal. We're coming back, and it was no rush. There was just no rush to the game, and they weren't running like a 2-minute offense the whole third and the whole fourth quarter. It was crazy.
Who else was in that box? John Bon Jovi, I'm guessing?
But I think he left. I think Wahlberg left. I think Elton John left. A lot of people blew out of there.
Nobody wanted to be there.
Well, it was so upsetting.
Were you there at the end of the game?
Yeah. Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, I went down on the field, saw Tom. It was incredible. Okay, Bob, third choice.
We got 2.
Okay. Again, my guiding principle here has been you have to have done it to yourself, not overtaken by something heroic or extraordinary by anyone else. So let's go to poor Jean Van de Velde in 99 at the British Open. Okay. This was a toss-up with Greg Norman, who led in the 96 Masters by 6 strokes going into the final round.
I think he shot 7.
I think it was 6, but doesn't really matter. 6-stroke lead. He winds up losing by 5 to Nick Faldo. Okay.
He shoots a 78.
Yeah, shoots a 78. You're right. But Van de Velde only needed a double bogey on the par 4 18th. A double bogey wins the British Open. He cards a triple bogey 7, and I'm a little.
He goes into the water.
Yeah,
He takes the
exactly.
shoes
He
off.
hits into the water, but he hit some shots that he didn't have to hit. There were some safeties available to him. Just get it on the green and 3-putt, and you're okay. But he continually did. I mean, this was like Kevin Costner and Tin Cup, kind of. Maybe that's.
But as Al and I know, when you're trying to get a double bogey, it just like you can only screw it up,
Yeah. Well, there's also Phil Mickelson, right? Phil Mickelson and Wingfoot in the U.S. Open.
How about Rory on number 10?
I'm going with Van de Velde.
Okay. What's your fourth?
My fourth, it's a tough one. I could go with the Colts in Super Bowl III because they were huge favorites over the Jets, and the Jets didn't make that many mistakes. They didn't really overpower them. The Colts made a number of mistakes. They missed guys wide open for touchdowns. Rick Volk or somebody, an interception that was right in his hands, would have run it back for a touchdown, dropped it. So they contributed to the Jets win. But I'm not going with that. I'm going with the Trailblazers in Game 7 of the 2000 Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, up by 15.
16.
Whatever it was. I think it was 15. I called the game.
I was at that game.
You were at the game, but I called the game.
Yeah, I'm sitting there next to Phil. Phil turns to, I don't know, I think he turns to Tex, and he goes, "We need some luck." That's what he said. I was like, oh my God, this is not good. And Scottie Pippen was on the other team.
Yes, he was. And he started hot in that game.
So those are your four.
Those are my four, yes.
All right, Al, we already got two of yours. We got 17 Falcons and we got the 64 Phillies.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I thought I had all four already because say the 64 Phillies combined with the 86 Angels.
Oh, yeah. You went
that's
all
one.
baseball.
Okay. And then I had, they had the Super Bowl, New England against Atlanta, combined with Houston and Bob. Anyway, okay. So, but I've got another one for you here. This is very important. That Bob reminded me with golf. The 1996 Masters. Entering the final round, Greg Norman has a 6-stroke lead. Yep. A 6-stroke lead. Nick Faldo, of course, shoots a 67. Norman shoots a 78. So the final result, Faldo wins by 5 strokes. An 11-stroke swing on the final day. Greg Norman down in flames. Nick Faldo wears the green jacket. That's got to rank up there too, for sure.
Yeah. It was a toss-up for me between that and Van de Velde. But Van de Velde was all on the last hole, so that seems like it's more self-contained.
Yep. But
that was so when I watched that Norman one, both were like really painful.
Yeah.
That Norman one was like, and that was his one shot. Everybody, because he had not won, everybody was actually hoping for him to win.
Of recent vintage, Rory, if Rory doesn't win that tournament after that 4-shot lead on the back, I'm not saying that would be in our pantheon.
I mean, I think that was the inspiration for this episode.
That was the inspiration. We were talking like, this is a great one. Because I didn't think he was going to come back. And when he looped it around on 15, he missed the 4-footer and got birdie. I was like, oh my God. Either on 13, he shanked it or trying to go below the hole. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, if you win it, like Rory came back, this year and won the Masters, so he's got
he got it off his back.
Got it off his back. It softens it. The Red Sox have softened all their excruciating defeats by winning 4 World Series since the turn of the century. Yeah. Van de Velde never got another chance. Norman never won the Masters.
All right, Ben.
All right. I also have the Falcons. No brainer. Yankees 0-4, just losing a 3-0 lead. It's unprecedented and hasn't happened since.
There have actually been a handful of hockey series where a team up 3-0 lost. It's only happened once in baseball in the whole long history.
Never in basketball.
Never in basketball.
Has it ever happened in the NBA?
No. I think 3-1. Warriors 3-1.
In hockey, it's happened 4 or 5
wasn't it Cleveland and Golden State?
Yeah, Warriors. That's what I'm saying.
It was 3-1. That was 3-1.
3-1. Yeah. That's the closest it's been. But yeah, I mean, that team was Jeter, Posada. I mean, it was such a nasty team.
Speaking of Posada and Jeter, okay, Kevin Millar gets a walk in the 9th inning, and then Dave Roberts, who didn't appear in the postseason except for as a pinch runner, he steals the base on the first pitch, and Posada's throw is right there. Jeter's tag is right there. He's safe by a millimeter. If he's out, that's it. And then who was the third baseman that won a batting title? Bill Miller. Spelled like Mueller, but Bill Miller. He singles to center, I think, and that scores Roberts. Game goes into extra innings, and eventually the Red Sox.
But they had Mario Rivera, the greatest of all time. I mean, he's on the mound. How does this happen? I mean, he's the GOAT.
I mean, the Yankees. It was an all-star team that year. It was Sheffield. I mean, it was so nasty.
It was what the Dodgers were, what the Dodgers are now. That's what that team, they were stacked.
You know, think about what the Red Sox lineup was, though. You know, they had Ortiz. They had Manny. They had Kurt Schilling and Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, but also remember, Boston had not beaten them in how long? I mean, they had it on their back.
Yeah, but that was the end of the curse.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I have Chris Webber. I mean, that just to me is the
calling the timeout.
I feel what you're saying about give college kids a break, but that is literally a choke. I mean, they were down 2 already, but you call timeout, you don't have timeout, you end the game. That is literally choking in my mind. They
were the Fab Five.
Just forgetting in the moment what you can and can't do. You could argue that there are other things that happen in that game. It's not as clear maybe as your 64 Philly situation, but for me, clear. And then I think Warriors.
Good win, but
I think what was that? 2016, 2017? Warriors up 3-1, lose to the Cavs. Also unprecedented. I don't think there'd ever been a series that swayed from 3-1 to 4-3.
Oh, yeah, there had been.
There had been?
I don't know about in the finals, but
in the finals.
There had been earlier series in the NBA.
Think about what the Warriors were back then. I mean,
what that was the equivalent. I talked to Steve Kerr about this at the All-Star game in San Francisco in February. That was the rough equivalent of what happened to the Patriots in their 18-0 entering the Super Bowl. This is like somebody draws a mustache on the Mona Lisa. The masterpieces messed up. Of all of Belichick's teams, that was the best team. And no one could ever argue they weren't the best single-season team in NFL history because the Patriots numerically were 19-0. Shula's Dolphins were 17-0, but the Patriots were more impressive in their victories. The schedule that the Dolphins had in 72 wasn't all that rough, and they didn't win by wide margins.
Was that the first year they got Randy Moss, or the second?
That's a good question.
Either first or second, but that was their true masterpiece. And that year, then the Warriors had beaten I guess it was 96 Bulls record for best regular season mark. Yeah. And they went like, I don't know, 73 and 9, 73 and 9, something like that. They had a late season game at the Meadowlands, which was a high scoring game. And the Giants were in the game. It gave the Giants some confidence that they could at least hang with the Patriots. Plus, Brady was hobbling around. He had a bit of an ankle injury. His foot was in a boot. 2-week break leading.
Oh yeah, that's when he went to see Giselle in New York, and they caught him on camera with the boot.
That's right, walking down the street. And the Giants did have a good defensive line, and they were able to put pressure on Brady. They had the right formula. Tom Coughlin, for whatever reason, had the right formula for beating the Brady Belichick Patriots. Did it twice.
The only argument against the Cavs coming back in that series was like they did own. It wasn't just Golden State fucking up. The Cavs balled out. Like LeBron owned that series. Kyrie owned that series. It wasn't to Bob's point.
When you talk about LeBron versus Jordan, which is that ongoing debate, and I've always said that LeBron might be statistically equal, but he'll never be as great because all the intangibles go to Jordan. And when you think about Jordan, if you say list all of his indelible moments that even the casual fan remembers, there's so many of them. LeBron doesn't have nearly as many, but one for sure is that block in Game 7. The block in Game 7 is one of the great, iconic defensive plays in the history of the NBA.
Agreed. Yeah.
But here's what I thought of. This goes into Al the Cocker world, okay? For those of us who remember.
Oh, so you have a fifth now. I love it.
Well, wait, I got a brand new one here. How about in 1954, 1954, the Cleveland Indians in a 154-game schedule were 111-43. 111-43. I believe they had 4 20-game winners. In the World Series against the New York Giants, they got swept. That's the World Series in which Willie Mays made that fantastic catch against Vic Wertz with his back to the plate. Wheeled around, got it back in. And a guy named Dusty Rhodes hit a couple of pinch hit. Anyway, 111-43, and then you get swept. That belongs in the conversation.
Are you taking anybody off your list and putting them on?
Yeah.
Ari, I've got one for you. This is specifically for you, okay? Because I know what a Dan Gable fan you were. Does the name Larry Owings mean anything to you? Larry Owings. Dan Gable in college, his career record was 118-1.
Who did he lose to? Him?
Larry Owings of the University of Washington. There you go.
How much did he beat him by?
How do I know? He put a he put a full Nelson on him. What do I know?
That's got to be the greatest career record of any sport ever.
Oh, he was incredible.
Well, I guess Mayweather.
And how about he was an incredible coach? That team's the GOAT.
Well,
Al, you're bringing Ari back into Dan Gable territory. This is your fault.
Okay.
There you go.
Benny. All right, Benny, it's your turn.
No, I just did mine. It's your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Yep.
Atlanta Patriots, easy one for me. I have the same one as you did. Yankees, Red Sox.
Yep.
Coming back just because I'm a Cubby fan. I have Boston Red Sox 1986. For me, that one, because Bill Buckner, and he was wearing the Cubs glove.
This was the Buckner. This is through the legs.
World Series.
Yeah.
This is through the legs.
Yeah. We had a horrible game, and they kept him out there, and the manager kept him out there, and it went through his legs, and he had the
John McNamara.
Right.
Yeah.
He had a hairline fracture of his ankle in that series too.
Yeah. Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yes, he did.
I feel like
And that's why he wasn't hitting?
Well, McNamara, look, I remember I had done the playoffs, and Buckner's wearing a tennis shoe. He can't wear regular spikes because he had the hairline fracture. And I think, and I knew John McNamara very well because when I was doing the San Francisco Giants back in the 70s, he was a coach, and he had a very sweet Irish heart. And I think what he wanted was for his warrior, Bill Buckner, to be on the field when the Red Sox ended the curse and won the World Series. And that's why he kept him out there, in my mind.
I agree with that. He always denied that.
He did.
He said he was the best I had. And he couldn't have reached the ball. That's a question of range, but he was in front of the ball and it went through his legs. But I'm with you, Al. I think that it was a sentimental thing because in every game they led, in the World Series that I hosted and in the LCS that you called, in every game they had the lead, they put Dave Stapleton in late as a defensive replacement.
That's exactly right.
Except in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my last one goes between Rory and Greg. When Rory's up going into the fourth day on Sunday, goes to the 10th hole, has been playing his mind out, snaps it, and it just falls out. Between that and Greg, I can't make a decision, but I'm okay if you do Greg Norman.
You got to make a decision. We need 4 from you.
I mean, that was such a choke by Rory. It was such a choke. And I mean, he was hitting the ball so perfectly, that front 9, and everybody says, "Oh, this is over." And he talks about it. I think the Sunday of this past, he started thinking about what he's going to serve for dinner and all the other stuff he started thinking about. And then that 10th hole just wings it into the buildings. Since we're going to have to make a decision about 4, I'm going to go with Greg Norman.
Okay.
Because I was watching that. And there was that one also. Both were so painful because I root for Rory all the time, and at the time I was rooting for Greg because I wanted him to break the curse. Because that was the second time up or third time up that he had not won, right?
Right.
Why I'm going there is it was a second or third time up. That was Rory's first time up, and as they say, the Masters doesn't start until Sunday on the back 9, and so I'm going to go with Greg Norman.
Okay. So it seems like a no-brainer for us that we're putting Falcons on 2017. We all
are we all okay about that?
It's on all of our lists. It's the only one that's on all of our lists.
Okay, perfect.
I
can't believe you guys didn't do like the Boston Bruins in 2010.
Well, I thought about it, but I like I said, there's several 3-0 hockey situations.
I think we put the 64 Phillies on. I wasn't even aware of this, but it seems so clear that it fits that it fits this. You cool with that, Ari?
Okay, I just don't know the game at all.
I think Al and I feel strongly about that one.
We're going with the experts. Okay.
What was his name? What was the manager's name that
Gene
Mauch.
Mauch.
Wow. That poor man.
Yeah, seriously. Yep. Okay, 3. We've got
because that was the third joke, right?
That was the first of 3.
First of 3, yeah.
Yeah.
We've
64, 82, and 86.
Wow.
We have 2 Greg Norman because Al and you both have Greg Norman. We have.
Didn't Bob have Greg Norman?
No, Bob
he
had
had the British Open.
We have Yankee. Both of us have Yankee Sox 04.
Come on. That's such a rivalry.
Yeah, they're also in a rivalry episode. That's got to count for something.
Yeah.
Yes. Extra points.
Well, maybe. But I thought one of the rules is you can't.
You're on Rushmore. You can't have 2. Well, it's different because that's a dual. That Rushmore is that rivalry. This is an individual team.
Okay.
I don't know if that works, but I'm saying that.
What do you guys think about the Boston Yankee 3-0?
I think it was more until maybe you get to Game 7 and Kevin Brown just coughed it up. It was more Red Sox heroics than Yankee failure.
Joke.
Okay, so
we're gonna cut. Al, you agree with that?
Yeah, but every joke has a flip side, which means look, as bad as it was from Atlanta's end, you got to give New England all the credit for making it happen on the other side. Yeah. So
okay, so we're gonna hold on that. What about?
So you have 3 right now or 2?
No, we just have 2 because Sox and Yankees we're putting on deck.
Well, then I go with Bob. What he said about, I think you had this on the list, Bob. Cleveland, Golden State.
No, I had that. Bob has
Trailblazers.
He had Blazers. He had Blazers in 2000.
Yeah, but I like your choice in that it was the finals.
I think so too.
What do you think, guys?
I think Cleveland,
and they were 73-9.
Yes, Cleveland. I think Cleveland excelled. You know what the choke is? Here's the choke. It's Draymond Green getting suspended for a game.
I forgot about that.
He gets tossed from Game 5, right? And then he's suspended for Game 6, which they lose without him. Green obviously, all things considered, is a plus for the Warriors, but he's often been a liability.
And he's one of the great defensive players of all time.
Yes.
He's great.
Draymond
choked.
Draymond choking is giving this some credence. You're
Al, what do you think?
Well, do you call it choke just because the guy gets suspended? Is that a choke?
Well, no, but you're up 3-1. You're the best team in basketball. You've beaten the Bulls record 72-10. You're 73-9.
Right.
But the other guys are pretty good too.
Well, do you want to say Giants, Patriots is a choke in the Super Bowl? They were the greatest team of all time in football.
Yeah, in a way that was.
I just got to say, what about? I know Bob's saying no college kids, but Chris Webber, timeout, no timeouts. Like, this is textbook.
It's pretty bad. But how about Fred Brown? Literally, there are different color uniforms. Fred Brown literally looks at a North Carolina guy and goes, "Here."
Yep.
but would Michigan necessarily have won that game had he not?
No, they were down. They were down
2.
They were down 2, but
So
I agree with you, Al.
Yeah.
It's bad, but it's not a joke. All right, guys, we're gonna have to pick 2 more, and we're looking at the experts.
Do we want to go to bowling?
Please no.
Earl Anthony wants to go a 21-pin lead. No, never mind.
I told you Al be with
I think
that foolishness.
Andy Varapapa
gotta watch,
could not convert the 7
Bob goes second.
In our text thread, you guys, there were about 20 names that I could not.
Yeah, I didn't.
I love to sit down with him because.
All right.
The closest right now are Yankee Sox, are Golden State Cleveland, and I mean, Greg Norman's
on the list.
Pretty good.
Bob, you okay with that? I'm okay with that.
I like Vandervelde for this more than Norman, but Norman certainly is worthy. So if that's the consensus, I'll give up Vandervelde for Norman.
Okay, but Norman was the Masters too, right?
Yeah, but that one was the British Open. That's the founding of golf.
And Vandervelde was really, one shot or one hole, whereas
Norman was 18 rounds.
Blew a six-stroke lead and lost by 5.
Yeah, I mean that was 11-stroke turnaround.
Okay, we got 3. We got 3. We got Falcons 2017. We got Phillies 1964, and we got Norman.
I need to get this in just because I won't any other time. The guy who through most of history has been most connected to a choke, an individual, is Fred Merkle of the 1908 New York Giants. Merkle's boner, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs
the
are a
Merkle
big
boner,
team then.
that's right.
This is the Tinker to Evers to Chance Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Cubs and the Giants competing for the championship, for the National League pennant. Late season game at the Polo Grounds.
It's going to get a lot of press, this boner conversation.
Right. Well, yeah. Make up your own punchlines. So I shouldn't even say this, but I will.
No, we got to hear it.
What have I got to lose? The late, great Dave Anderson, Pulitzer Prize-winning sports writer, wrote a book about the history of pennant races, the best pennant races, all right? And they were different chapter headings, of course. And he asked me if I would read the audio book. So I said, fine. And one chapter was entitled, it was from 1908, Cobb's Honeymoon. And apparently Ty Cobb got married. Cobb's Honeymoon, Merkle's Boner. I said,
what was the name of the book?
Dave, Cobb's the guy on the honeymoon.
So give the story about the boner.
Make up your own joke. So anyway, there's runners on first and second, I think, and the base hit. And this was common practice then. When the winning run had scored, the guy did not have to step on second. They never called it. So the Giant fans come rushing out onto the field, and Merkle just turns toward the clubhouse before ever touching second base. The Cubs retrieve the ball, which is like behind third base, rolled against the edge of the stands. In fact, there's even some dispute as to whether it was the actual ball or they substituted one. They run over to second base. They step on the bag. The umpire says, yes, out. So the game is declared a tie, and they have to replay the game. They do. A week later or whatever, the Cubs win the game, and by virtue of that, the Giants lose the pennant. And that became
by one game.
Yeah, and it was dubbed Merkle's
that's
boner.
Unbelievable.
Okay, and Merkle, look him up in Baseball Reference. Fred Merkle had a good career statistically, and by the accounts of his contemporaries, he wasn't a dumb player, but he was stuck with that for his whole life.
I got to go with the boner. I'm going with the boner. Al.
But boner wasn't on any of our original lists.
I'm okay with that. We made the exception for the boner.
I think the boner's got to go on.
Al, are you okay with the boner being the exception?
Well, wait a minute. Don't forget, there was Mickey Owen, the Dodger catcher in 1941 in the World Series.
Sorry.
He had a passed ball. So he had a boner and a passed ball. You can go with one of the two here. But he let a rally continue in the end. He wound up beating the Dodgers and went on to win the World Series. So there we have it on our X-rated podcast.
I think we're going with the boner.
I think we're going boner. Fred Merkle boner.
And I'm going to read that chapter, Al.
Do you think there's any chance that some of this is going to be taken out of context?
No. Absolutely not. No chance. No chance.
To the everlasting chagrin.
Everybody's going to read that chapter you just referenced, and they're going to listen to your voice on the audio.
Yeah, it was like more than 20 years ago. Might have been 25.
Do you have a royalty on that, like you do on the movie?
I was paid for it. I doubt that there are many sales going on now. So I took it up front. I was smart enough to
Wait, speaking of boner, you told us this great story last time about you, I think when you were in St. Louis as a kid, making your error on air, your blowjob error.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And your partner kind of looking at you, be like, keep going. Has that ever happened where you guys have had a co-host or a co-anchor who's totally fucked up and you've been like, oh shit, like you guys are you're a disaster, but you've kind of had to play.
You cover for them? Side?
Nothing off color, but if another guy's in trouble and you're the pro, you bail him out.
I have
Al?
the classic.
Like
I have the classic though. So no holds barred, right?
No holds
I'm,
barred.
I'm doing the Cincinnati Reds back in the early 70s. My partner is Joe Nuxhall, who goes down in history as the youngest pitcher to ever pitch in a major league game. During the war, he was 15 years and 10 months old. So he's my color commentator partner in Cincinnati. We go to Indianapolis because we're going to broadcast a game between the Reds, this is the Big Red Machine, Bench Rose Perez, managed by Sparky, and the Indianapolis Indians. So I would do a Sparky Anderson show on a tape recorder in those years. I'd hand the recorder to Joe, and he would do a pregame show. So my thing is already on tape. I give it to Joe. I go upstairs, and we have an engineer that we'd never seen before, rented out from some Indianapolis station. So I give it to him. I said, listen, we all count down to the start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Sparky show goes fine. And then I hear Joe's recording, which I hadn't listened to that point. And I've got a transistor radio because we can pick up WLW in Cincinnati from Indianapolis.
I'm nervous.
And here's what I hear. Hi, everybody. This is Joe Nuxhall reporting now from Indianapolis. It's the Reds against the Indiana. Get out of here. Get out of here, you son of a bitch, you cocksucker. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody. This is so the engineer had queued it up, hadn't listened to it, and that aired on WLW in Cincinnati.
Did he get fired?
No, but the next day we get called into the office and we're made to apologize for what happened. It was technical screw up and all of that.
What do you do when you hear that in the moment?
Well, I had the transistor. I thought I was looking at a grenade. I mean, I had this thing in my hand. I go, what? That could not have happened. But anyway, there was a local columnist the next day who wrote, how about that Reds broadcast team? Al Michaels does the play-by-play. Joe Nuxhall handles the off-color. It was perfect.
That's good.
That's a great title.
We all survived.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, we have the 4.
We
Read
got
them.
the 4. The 4 is 2017 Atlanta Falcons losing to the Patriots. The Phillies in 1964. Greg Norman. And Fred Merkel. Boner.
I had not meant to include that. I just thought it was a good anecdote.
That's actually
It's too good not to include.
It's too
The
good
guy
not
was
to
falsely
include.
blamed.
Yeah, too good not to include. Gentlemen, as always, very informative.
There's always an addendum, and
Okay.
I'm going to provide it right here because there's no other chance to tell this story. The Mets in 2007 are up 7.5 on the Phillies with 15 to play in the National League East, and they lose on the last weekend. Okay, so Shea Stadium is a morgue. Met fans are forlorn. And the next night, Conan O'Brien notes this in front of a New York audience. He's doing his show in New York then. And he goes through this whole soliloquy about how terrible it is. And Met fans are really down in the dumps. And a dark cloud will follow them the entire offseason. But no one is taking this harder than Mr. Met. And so they've got someone dressed in the Mr. Met thing with a giant baseball head. So now Mr. Met feels like there's no reason to live. He needs to end it all. So I'm not trying to make light of this circumstance, but he is, after all, a mascot. So he decides he's going to end it all. And he's going to stick his head in the oven, but it won't fit. His head is too big. All right. He's going to take an overdose, but the pills ricochet off his head because there's no opening for his mouth. So now he goes back to his locker in the Mets clubhouse, and he's taking his belongings, and he takes down a framed picture of Mrs. Met. And Mrs. Met is exactly the same as him, except she has lipstick and eyelashes. And he looks at her lovingly and forlornly, pats it to his heart, and realizes there is a reason to live. He'll go home to Mrs. Met.
Oh,
So now they follow him home. He opens the door, and the first thing you see is his big mitt hands go up against the giant head. And now we pull out. And Mrs. Met is in bed with the Philly fanatic. Could it get any worse? Yes. You just saw how it could get worse.
That's fantastic.
unbelievable.
Well, thank you guys as always.
Well, guys, we want to thank you for ending our careers. We knew it would come to this point.
That is our intent. That is our intent.
I would make a bet that you didn't choke here, and this is not going to end it. Actually, You're going to have huge new fans. So
I think
we
you guys are going to
appreciate.
call in 2 weeks for basketball too. I think I'm putting my money on.
Well, Ari, you got to represent us because we're going to need jobs.
I got you.
Trust me.
I got you on this one. All right, guys. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
Man, both these guys is not gonna need nothing. Dude, that was a great episode of Rushmore on X, hosted by Ari Emanuel and Ben Persky. Make sure y'all go and follow, subscribe, follow, love, like, and just give them all respect, man. Look, they doing an awesome job. They had sports jokes. Great episode. Great episode. Not gonna kid you. The goats came out to play, guys. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I watched it just like y'all, and it gets me, it lets me know, get into it. But we do have the Brady episode, him and Manning. That was a good one. But let's get to some of this. Let's see what we got. Oh wait, hold on. All right, yeah, it's the second episode. So all right. That is the second episode. That is a good job, though. Come on, give them a round of applause for the Rushmore on X. Like I said, subscribe. I am subscribed to them. I follow them. I make sure we stay in tune with the latest, And guys, that was a dope X. That was a dope show. Two Wisest. Look, I got them down as the Wisest. Okay, that's my boy Babs, y'all. Look how we were feeling. Look how we feeling, past fans. Past fans. Past fans. Let's go. Bad, don't kill me, bro. I had to put you
Patriots Nation!
Babs.
The Patriots went into Buffalo
Babs.
and said,
You know how to
"We
put you on,
are
Babs. Sneaking up that Babs, man. Let's go.
Stephon Diggs has been waiting for that moment. Ramondre Stevenson redeemed himself.
Yo,
Drake
let's talk
May
about
showed he's
Babs.
the real deal. Holy shit! The Panthers so fucking back. We have been waiting for this. We have
Let's
been
go.
waiting
Y'all
for
go
this.
make sure y'all follow my boy Babs, bro.
I am so fucking
Babs.
pumped.
Babs on the
So
mic, yo.
hyped up. Come
My
on.
boy Babs.
Come on.
Make sure y'all
Pats
go
Nation,
follow.
I know you've been waiting. I know the real ones have been out there. I know
Salute,
the other ones
yeah.
have been waiting
You know
for
we ready
this.
now.
If tonight did not prove it, I don't know what to tell you. Because the Pats are ready to run that table, baby. Over 500, 3-2, heading out to New Orleans, heading out to Tennessee, back home against the Browns. Let's run the fucking table. We're back, baby. Buffalo, your window, boom, it's down. The Patriots window, open it up. Ha ha ha, let's go.
I know y'all didn't want to hear that, but I had to share that with y'all. Okay. Mm-hmm. About Tyreek Hill, he got prayers up. Mm. Let's see. Wait, we gotta get to let's see. He's making a good little comeback on that. The situation, that knee, but that's going to be some questions that's going to be coming out of Miami. Especially if they do lose even more. If you let the Jets come and pass you up, man, then man, that's why I said Bill to check my exercise that thing and get back to football, y'all, because I don't think college is doing you right, bro. You everywhere, guy. Just come back around, coach, please. Game needs you. Just kidding. All right. The power rankings are out for the NFL. And hockey is back, ladies and gentlemen. Hockey is back. We're going to have to see what hockey between. I don't really know hockey. Don't cover hockey, but hockey is, I like it. It's interesting, trust me. It is an interesting game.
At the blue line.
All right, Bengals traded. I told you about this. Joe Flacco. So, I mean, Browns trade him over to them. Like, this is crazy. All right, Jake Ferguson. If you're getting a tight end, you better go and snatch him if he's available because he's been clutch. First hit stick of the season. Ooh, we got his stick. We got his stick out here, guys.
And here we go. And that's a clean hit, a big one by Manson. And then the lot just comes flying in.
All right, we got his stick out here. Hold on, let me get that. There you go. This is why I like Hockey's back. So it's got action. Oh yeah, don't worry. Here it is.
Manson. And here you'll see the hit here as Vogel goes to dump it in 1 second, and the shoulder right to the chest. And Milot comes out off the bench, and he's tapping his stick, and he's letting Manson know, I'm coming, and here we go. And that's a clean hit, a big one by Manson.
The glove come off.
Milot just comes flying in.
I'm gonna boom.
Sportsmanlike, 5 minutes fighting.
Sportsmanlike, 5 minutes fighting. That is stop it.
So he got the extra 2.
Stop it. Stop it. The first one of the year, guys.
Manson.
First
here
one
you'll
of the
see the
season
hit here as
already.
Vogel goes to dump it in 1 second, and the shoulder right to the chest.
I just had to. Oh my goodness! All right, guys, we got Chargers falling in the power ranks. Yanks. Did the Yanks get the Blue Jays up 6-1 on the Yanks? Oh, Yanks get a big win to force Game 4. Oh. Wait, what do we got?
Game 4 tomorrow night. The Yankees have life.
The Yankees are back alive.
And it was their star. It was the MVP that breathed it into him. Diving stop by Caballero. Game 4 tomorrow night. The Yankees have life.
Sweet Carolina. All right, Yankees force a Game 4, guys. 6-9. Okay, Yankees. All right, Indiana's Fernando Mendoza has had 16 passing touchdowns. We got trades. All right. Okay. All right, children. I ain't kids, so I respect that. We gonna go ahead and repost that. Get that home. Salute the Children's Hospital, Louisiana, Uptown, New Orleans. Yes. Number 1 out of 50 rankings. That's good. 50 in a row. And the man is they've dumped a bunch of money in the Bensons. They've been there. All right. And this is when the Yankees apparently got the lead.
For the first time in the series, Jazz Chisholm goes deep.
Garland. That ball caught that ball right there. Ball gonna be worth some money. Look, that's the lead ball too. All right, Yankees took the lead with that one. You probably get about 20 points. That is cracked.
Right field. New York hits for the first
Ooh,
time in
bounced
the
off the upper deck
series.
and came down and somebody got it. Somebody was leaning for that ball, couldn't get it. And it fell right to the man right there. Look at him. I like to keep that ball quiet, but you should be like, he's off to the races. They got up out of there after that. But the Yankees, congratulations to the Yankees. They got to win. They get the win tonight, John.
For the first time in the series, Jazz Chisholm goes deep.
Oh, look at it. This is crazy. All right. Bucks and Seahawks best NFL game of 2025 ranking the top 5 entering week 6. I mean, it was a good game. It was definitely a good game. If I had to have a Mount Rushmore of top 4 games this season so far through week 6, because we're on the week 6, this would be up there. This would be one of those games that'd be up there. All right, we're gonna start with the Yankees. Highlights there. Yankees fan fake. Dang. Oh, Yankees were down 6-1. Now it's tied. Oh. Oh, they got a new Drake song out, y'all. Apparently, I don't, It's football season, guys. We'll get into the music thing if they got something out there. Okay, power rankings. Our power ranking will be out today. They will be out today. They're done right now. I can run through them, but I just don't want to leak mine. And we have the insiders. Let's pull that up. Let's watch the insiders. Can we do the insiders? Is it legal to do the insiders? Is it legal to do the insiders, y'all? Hold on. Let's see. Is it legal to do the insiders? Hold on. Oh no, we're gonna start it over. We're gonna start it over. We gotta change it because I don't want to get it crossed over into the stream. No, sir. No. Nope.